What is going on, everyone? It is Foul Play here, and we are back again for another Modern League. Back on the green-white train, we're running the 20 lands, the same stock lands that I have been running mostly. Again, as I said previously, there's potential for us to want maybe one to two extra fetch lands to help out with the escape from Sentinel's Eyes. However, that does have dyssynergy with Suppression Field in the sideboard. In this sideboard, I've currently got one, so it's, not too bad. So I'm continuing with my 11 creatures, actually, just the 3 Spirit Dancers. I love to see one in a lot of games, but I don't normally like to see more than one, so I'm not going to be playing the whole playset of Core Spirit Dancer. Our hexproof creatures, however, of course we want all of them. They're great. We definitely need to see one every game, guaranteed. That is the premise of the deck. All right, so auras. I've actually added an extra aura to the deck. I've removed one path to exile, so I'm really loading up. I've got 27 auras here. That's a really good count, really strong count. We got play sets of the Ethereal Armor, the Hyena Umbra, the Rancor, and the Daybreak. And then we've got 3 offs for the Griffspoon, the Spider Umbra, the Sentinel's Eyes, and 2 Spirit Mantles. The extra aura I added was the 3rd Sentinel's Eyes. Vigilance is like a very, very important stat in creature matchups, like against the Prowess decks, right? All right, so sideboard-wise, we have got one Decide in here for the Heliod combo. #1 rated deck in Modern at the moment. So Decide is going to exile all copies of their Heliod, and they're not going to be able to do that nonsense anymore. Only a 1-of in the sideboard, but if we run into it, we'll be very happy that we have it. Also have the Rest in Peace for graveyard decks and Jund decks. Suppression Field for combo decks. Gadok Teague for Tron. Lurus to get things back from the graveyard. Leyline of Sanctity to protect us against discard decks. And Force of Vigor to interact with artifacts and enchantments. Let's get into the match, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so welcome back, everyone. Match #1 here. We won the die roll. Let's get it underway. Versing Aphotic Sora. And we got an Arbor hand here. I don't like Arbor hands. Let's throw it. Got a no creature hand here. Let's throw it. Cool. We found a hand. Let's keep it. We'll bottom Core Spirit Dancer. We'll get rid of this Spirit Mantle as well, and we'll just keep a good turn 2 aggressive hand, right? No reason to lead on Temple Garden there, so we'll just save the life. If I had double white auras, I might lead on the Temple Garden to potentially play double white aura if I draw the white land. But in this spot, it does not matter. Infect, hooray! Okay, it's not Infect. Looks like humans. That is a good freaking draw. Let's go. Get out there, Bogle. In there for that 5 points of damage. Could also be spirits. Could be fish, actually. It could be merfolk. Okay, it's humans. Okay, it's elementals. Gotcha. Attack for 7. Nice and aggressive here, people. Alright, you may search your library for an elemental card, reveal it, and shuffle your library, put that card on top of it. So at least it doesn't put it into hand. For those of you that don't know, they do have Soul Herder that helps them draw 1,000,000 cards a turn, though. Opponent concedes. Oh, yeah. We've done it, people. Never an easy victory. Alright, so our opponent can have good interaction with their own graveyard, so Rest in Peace could be warranted. There's also a world where they have like activated abilities on their creatures, so suppression field could be reasonable. I think mostly there's probably not much that we want to take out, so I think we just run it back as it is and get into it. Obviously, if we had a card like Torporob or Hushbringer, that would be very good here. We'd be bringing it in. Elementals do function a lot off of enter the battlefield effects. No, I didn't sideboard because I didn't like any of the cards that I'd be bringing in. Alright, so I'm going to keep this. It's Landlight, but we have really good auras, so we'll go with that. No turn 1 play for my opponent. That's not too bad. Oh my goodness, that is a good aura to find as well. Alright, get out there, Mr. Scout. Hopefully we hit land this turn, and then we're looking at like a very, very aggressive clock here. Opponent missed on a land drop? Wow. Big wow. Alright, well, I guess we get in there for 3 points of damage. This is also like plays around Wear Terror a little bit. I think mostly their way to interact with enchantments post-board is going to be on a stick, though, on a creature as an enter the battlefield. Sure. Cool. Alright, so all the bells and whistles now. This is why we love Sentinel's Eyes, people. Mini Daybreak. Daybreak when you don't have Daybreak. That Vigilance stat is huge. The getting it back from the graveyard is even better. So you got like some sort of sacrifice effect here. Oh, that Lightning Skelemental never looked so bad, opponent. Do you know how First Strike works? Obviously not. Opponent concedes. That easy, people. Pulling it out. Alright, well, the poll rings even more truth now. Because, we just got the first win. We can no longer finish 0-5. Those little victories. Alright, so match number 2 here versus Hummingbird. And we won the die roll. We will be on the play. Says here he was last seen 21 days ago playing a Death and Taxes list. And that list, we'll just have a quick look at it on the screen, was a Urian list. And it is a mono white Urian list. Okay. I think like mostly this is okay, but we're gonna probably need to draw cards to win. It's not got any real aggressive auras. Sentinel's Eyes is good, but if our opponent doesn't have Skyclave Apparition, we'll probably be in an okay spot. Batterskull could get a little bit tricky, and you know, like a Sword of Feast and Famine could also get tricky. Says here he's got main deck Batterskull, 2 Batterskulls, 1 Sword of Fire Ice, 1 Maul. Don't think we're gonna need the extra creature in this spot. We'll get rid of our fetch land here as well, guys, because there's the potential for Leotin Arbiter, which is obviously a very annoying card. So we'll get him for 3. That's all good. Looks like my opponent has got the new art Field of Ruin. At first glance, I thought this was a Tron land, honestly. Stoneforge Mystic, Thalia, Archon, Flickerwisp, Skyclave Apparition, Restoration Angel, Winds of Abandon. We don't want to see that one. 31 lands. That's a lot of lands. And sideboard-wise, more Winds of Abandon. Okay. Okay. Well, let's just go ahead and put everything on the board. We want to be aggressive here, right? There's no point protecting any of these auras. Let's just get in there for 1 million damage, shall we? Alright, so we pray for no Giver of Runes as well. Obviously, Giver of Runes is a good card for our opponent. Very good card. Be able to chump block us out a whole heap. Fortunately, like, what we're doing is not easily answered by a Giver of Runes. And on top of that, also by a Skyclave Apparition, because they can't just hit one aura and give us a hard time. Our opponent can activate Field of Rune here and strip one of our lands away, but they'll also strip away one of their lands and take a damage. And Lurrus isn't going to be like that important to us here when all their effects exile things. Cool. Let's demand that, demand some respect here. Get in there with that ethereal armor. Opponent's going to need a blocker of some description now. Charming Prince. I wouldn't be surprised if this did a scry too. Yeah, it is scrying. Scryed 2 to the bottom. Yep. So really what we want to see here is an evasive effect, a Spirit Mantle, a Rancor, a Griff Spoon, one of these cards. So we can hit through for the victory. Alright, well, opponent just plays his third Field of Rune to sack his second Field of Rune. And they actually get us. Wowee. Wowee. Alright, well, the game is adequately slowed down now. Oh, he's blocking with Leiden. He can potentially flicker it with like a Charming Prince or something. Or with a Flicker Wisp, more likely. Come on, opponent. Just let the damage through. You know you want to. Cool. Skyclave Apparition. Goodbye, Ethereal Armor. Salute the Ethereal Armor, people. You served us well by dealing 0 damage. I guess if we held the Ethereal Armor in hand, we wouldn't have demanded to have been chump blocked 2 turns ago. But we would have been able to play around Field of Rune, and then the Spirit Mantle would have been castable. It is still castable now. Alright, well, we can go ahead and put our opponent to 0, as long as he doesn't have Skyclave Apparition or Flicker Wisp. Come on, opponent, just have nothing, just this once. Getting in there. After this particular turn here, it becomes like a lot harder to win as well. Because then they've got Giver of Runes online, of course. Brilliant. There's the Flicker Wisp. For some reason, instead of flickering his Skyclave Apparition, I guess he has to do this to actually survive this turn. What are you doing? Please triple block. Go right ahead. Be my guest. He's throwing away the Giver of Runes. Does that mean he has Restoration Angel? Surely you throw away Flicker Wisp here. Surely. So this opponent actually has 12 land destruction effects. That's pretty wild. He's got the tectonic edges as well, in case we ever get 2/4 lands. Joke's on them. That card's not going to be doing very much. Oh, opponent takes the noble victory of dealing damage to themselves. Cool. Alright. Well, this is a Hate Bears deck. We're going to want these Force of Vigors for their swords package. We got a nice little vote in the poll so far. I think Pay has voted for us to go 5-0. Thank you, Pay. I'll do my dandiest, my best. So pretty much this is all we want to bring in. Spirit Dancer is like a little bit fragile. Path is like pretty bad against Giver of Runes, but better when we bought in Suppression Field. I think let's just take out our core Spirit Dancers, leave the Path to Exiles in the deck, and board in this lot. Alright, what do we got this time? A no creature hand with a no green mana. Let's mulligan. Opponent is, of course, keeping a 7-card hand. You know what's like really, really good against a Dech Tech and Tax's deck, which is going to attrition the shit out of you? Mulliganing a lot. And also keeping a land-based creature, which gets destroyed by their 12 land destruction effects. Alright, this hand is good. We'll keep it. We'll bottom one of these lands. We'll bottom a Rancor. And we'll get into it. We will be fetching around the Leaden Arbiter and trying not to get blown out by it. Hey, cool. Hyena Umbra, great draw. Definitely a fan of seeing that card in that spot. Gives us a much better turn 2 than Rancor alone. Means we can attack a lot of the time. A risk of stating the obvious here. Ghost Quarter and nothing. Bitch, are we versing Blessed Alliance? Is my opponent playing Blessed Alliance? It was not in this previous deck list of his. Wings and Abandon is a sorcery. What other reason would he have to hold up mana and not play a creature on turn 2? Stuff this, man. Stuff this. I am under no pressure. I will be playing around my opponent's nonsense, which is Blessed Alliance here. There is no way he's not playing a creature at 2 mana in this deck. No way. He probably got fed up with Prowess and started sideboarding Blessed Alliances. Sure, we lose Hyena Umbra. Not the worst aura to lose. We are potentially extending ourselves into a 2-for-1 here, but we kind of have to. And I kind of want to get this Dried Arbor out to play around stuff. I don't think my opponent's going to block with Skyclave Apparition this turn. Let's slow roll the Rancor because it's probably more valuable than the Spider Umbra is. Did he just keep like a triple Skyclave Apparition hand and we just next leveled ourselves? Flicker Wisp, shop. Do you know the interaction? Exiling Skyclave, okay. He still has the option to do the interaction with Skyclave here. He knows the interaction, rats, man. Fucking clean 2-for-1. Alright, well, when we draw this well, who cares? And potentially put Lurrus to hand, start getting these auras back from the graveyard as well, these daybreaks. We have put our opponent to 7 now. Has he got another one? Literally just kept 1,000,000 3-mana creatures in hand. Okay. Surely he's got something better to do for 3 mana than strip a Horizon Canopy. Sure. I will take that damage all day. Fucking hell, man. This opponent has got some good 3-drops in their deck. Oh. Luckily we got all these illusion tokens. Alright, let's take a turn off, put Lurrus to hand, pass turn. Start building some resources back up because we're falling very far behind. We did mulligan to 5 this game. And we have been 2 for 1 twice with these daybreaks. Fortunately, because of the way he's done it, we can get them back with Lurrus though. They can also obviously go after our mana and start getting rid of our Temple Garden here. Thalia. Urian to hand. Okay. Urian to hand is interesting. How do we win? So, like, Urian can obviously exile 3 things. And they can get up to 3 Skyclave Apparition triggers off of the Flicker Wisps. No. They can get 2 Skyclave Apparition triggers. Like, how do we win without Lurrus is the big question. We can't attack with a 2 power creature here because they have Thalia, which has first strike. We can't put Lurrus down because it gets exiled. Pass turn, question mark? I kind of want to make him Lurrus, the Urian, like give him the option to Urian. But then, like, how am I winning? But how am I winning if he holds it forever? Because it's going to be the same threat every turn. We have the option to quad block this Thalia. I say that because we will have to. Let's just let it go. We'll just take all the damage, I think. Urian. I think we've lost too many auras and lost too much tempo here. All of those empty tapped, right? Untapped. And now we lose all our tokens, or 2 of our tokens. Jesus Christ, man. What can I do here? Literally don't have an out, or he's fucking exiling my lands. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Cool. Alright, not happening. Alright, game 3. Holy crap, that was brutal. I really still do not think we want anything in our sideboard. I think the Force of Vigors are enough. Amazing. Let's mulligan some more. Went great for us last game. Like, look at this gas. Look at this gas, like, variance we got here going. This is amazing. So amazing right now. Fucking keep a Dryad Arbor hand. Are you kidding me? Can we even go below 4 though? Of course not. Jesus, man. We have to lose 3 cards. Thing is, I want all these auras. I just have to bottom the Ethereal Armor though. So bad against a single Path to Exile as well. Wings of Abandonment. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, wins as target creature. Amazing. Oh, we draw the Sentinel's Eyes to rub the salt into our wounds a little bit here. Cool. Nifty little synergy of attack for 2 and then tap for mana in your second main. We've definitely got our opponents on the rope after this incredible start here. Shit, man. Shit. Get ready for Ghost Quarter, people. Oh, so now he has the Stoneforge Mystic hand. Oh, man. Sure, I will keep extending Totem Armor to the battlefield to protect this thing. It's gonna be so hard to beat a Batterskull with this hand at this point. We need him to have such a weak hand at the moment. Maybe we can beat a Skyclave Apparition. We can't beat Flicker Wisp. Flicker Wisp just destroys us. Alright, let's go ahead and attack our opponent for 4. Then we can Rancor, and then Rancor can get removed. It's like so much harder to attack without first strike, but fortunately we had the Sentinel's Eyes there. You throwing away Stoneforge Mystic. This means he has the second one. My goodness, does this look a lot worse against more of the Skyclaves. Holy moly, dude. We definitely need like an Ethereal Armor here, and for our opponent to have not very much after Maul. Alright, looks like he's setting up the battle skull. Come on, ethereal armor. So obviously we can't attack here or else our opponent just will go ahead and exile everything, so we'll block and trade with our 4 toughness. Cool. It's like wonderful mulligan to 4 and we just not get in there. We're drawing everything but first strike right now. We drew our second of 3 sources of vigilance, our second of 4 sources of rancor, trample, sorry. Oh my god. Like, we could trade the spider umbra on the attack, but that's still not very good value. And spider umbra leaves us really weak to land destruction. Okay, so fortunately the totem armor kicks in here. If he has a second land destruction effect though, we'll be in trouble. Currently that was his land played for turn though. So we'll take some damage. We'll untap, we'll draw Daybreak Coroner, it'll be fine. Great. Great. Daybreak or bust. That's a bust. That is a big bust. How much I hate this companion nerf. It's so slow. That could be on the battlefield right now. And we could like totem armor or something. Totem armor the Dryad Arbor and block with the Luris. Fuck me. Alright, cool. That's gotta be us close to dead, right? What do we got here? 9 in the air. Cool. Alright, well, whatever. I'm done. Opponent literally had it all. What he didn't have, he drew. Wow. Alright, no 5-0 this time, people. I'm sorry. Sorry, Pay. I let you down. Alright, so here we are for match number 3 of this Modern League. We have lost the die roll. We are going to be on the draw. We're versing Talisker. And it says here, my opponent was last seen playing Jund Shadow a month ago. This hand is a keep, but it's not like the most amazing hand ever. It's still really good though. If we're versing Jund Shadow, we're like in a pretty good spot. Good card. No problem, 4-1 to save it. Yeah, hey, I'll take a 4-1. I will definitely take a 4-1. So obviously Temple Garden here. We want to start working towards having double white for Daybreak Coroner. And for auras next turn. Fetching in response. Alright. My opponent does not care about what we're doing. Look at that. Hooray, it's Infect. So, you know, when I went and said that my opponent does not care about what we're doing, that's pretty literally true here. See if our opponent trades. I'll take the tempo at this point. We missed on land drop, so like Dryad Arbor's gonna do Dryad Arbor things anyway. Alright, well that resolved. Inkmoth Nexus. Opponent is attacking now. Scale up on the Inkmoth. So we have the potential to kill the Glistener Elf here. That might be good if we draw Path to Exile. Might be bad if we draw Spider Umbra, because we can't have Spider Umbra with First Strike and Reach. I think we just want to trade it. We've got like only Slippery Bogle in hand that's castable at the moment because we ran out the Rancor earlier. Oh, is he like considering a mutagenic here? I mean, surely just on the Inkmoth. I can't block it. This is hands down our worst matchup in Modern. I don't care what anyone thinks. They're wrong. This is our worst matchup. My opponent has disconnected. Alright. Cool. Alright, so opponent reconnects. We draw this fucking wonderful Daybreak Coronet. Let's go, guys. Let's go. We can't block whatever the hell he's doing anyway, so let's attack for 5 and pray to the gods. The magic gods that have been on our side so far. Maybe all he's got left is mutagenic growth or blossoming defense, and then we still lose. Let's see. Maybe all he's got left are lands. Yeah, let's go. Cool. Another fucking big spell. Alright. Well, that didn't take long, people. Also, Force of Vigor has the added bonus of actually getting rid of your opponent's Inkmoth Nexus as well, right? The main problem is they like just always seem to have Blighted Agent here. I think like maybe bringing in Suppression Field is a serious like shot we have in actually winning this game, where we might just lock our opponents off of their fetch lands and lock them off of mana. Like, I'm being dead serious here. I think that is a legitimate strategy. We'll take out Spirit Mantle because it's expensive. We want like all our sources of flying. And then it's probably just like one core Spirit Dancer out as well, because even though it's kind of good, it's also kind of slow. And like this Suppression Field's only going to work when we're on the play. It's not going to work on the draw. Not unless we see Spell Skite, right? I guess it like stops the activation on the Inkmoth Nexus, which could be important. Alright, well we have a hand. It'd be good if we weren't versing Infect. This would be a really good hand. I don't feel good about keeping this, but I think I'm gonna have to. The amount like we just mulligan to bad hands, there's no way we're just gonna like look for something with vigilance or something with flying, and like it's just not worth it. We just need to risk it. And like that completely gets undermined as well if our opponent does the very simple thing, which is having Blighted Agent. Then we're not going to be blocking flying anyway, right? Okay, what have we got here, opponent? Pendelhaven, that's a great start. Let's see if our opponent takes the same bait as last time. I do think we want to be aggressive at least on the first turn here. So we won't show them land just yet. Look to attack. Did they keep a 7? Of course they kept a 7. When did Infect ever mulligan? Yikes. Jokes on them if they have Force of Vigor. They're going to get no value on that force this attack. I guess we play our second creature here. It's like worse if we draw Daybreak Coronet, and if it's worse if our opponent doesn't have the auto kill this turn, and if we don't draw Daybreak Coronet. For those of you that don't know, like, Pendelhaven works... Alright, I'm not going to block this, not yet. Pendelhaven works really well with Scale Up, because you Pendelhaven and then Scale Up, and then it keeps the Pendelhaven buff. Wonderful! There he is, people. We lose. GG, well played, opponent. GG, well played. Why wouldn't he have Spellskite? Wow. Absolutely remarkable, man. Absolutely fucking remarkable. Bit of lazy unblockable. Gotta like some lazy unblockable. There's like no way Lurrus is good. We just gotta cycle this Horizon Canopy and dig a card deeper to Daybreak Coronet. It's gonna shut us off double white, but I think we're more likely to hit land plus Daybreak than what we are hit Daybreak alone. What do we find? Oh, great. Land, 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 land. Thank you. All right. We have the slimmest of slim chances. Opponent can try to redirect this. It will not work. It will not be a legal target. It will not resolve. We attack. All right. Well... if we got a shot, this is it. Opponent obviously has an elf with unblockable. So they can potentially just kill us here. Alright, we're not dead. That is good. So you got some sort of way to proliferate now. Did anyone see the Willie Hall XP video as well? They're releasing a new card in Strixhaven, and it is pretty interesting. Because it actually gives a turn 2 Infect kill with... they like splash for Chancellor of the Legion and have this 1 mana card. It essentially gives their creature lethal damage because they get power equal to the amount of life they've gained that turn. Oh, they need Nourishing Shoal as well. Nourishing Shoal, Chancellor, and the new 1 mana card that was printed. So they've essentially printed a more janky version of like the red Disrupting Shoal. Was it Disrupting Shoal? The red, like, exile a card, target player gets, like, X. They've printed, like, a jankier version of that in. Alright, we attack. What do we got, opponent? I've got all the blockers. What do we got? Also, you should note that, like, if I played double aura instead of, like, creature aura, we would have won already. Blighted Agent. Okay. Okay, we're in it. We're in it to win it, people. Wow. So currently my opponent has 2, 3, 4, 8 points of toughness. And we have 7 points of damage. Rancor. If they want to pay for the redirect, it's going to cost them life. Cool. Another Rancor. Cool. Alright, well, my opponent got, like, extremely unlucky and drew all creatures. I'm not sure I'd normally say that against this deck. Cool. Well, we dealt more than lethal damage. Opponent had a pump that they could have done on their creature, but it wouldn't have mattered. That was... We hadn't dealt any damage yet, and he was on 2. Yeah. Okay. That was good for us. Cool. Anything else? Suppression field, potentially less good. Potentially just needed. We do now know about Spell Sky. It's actually, suppression field's probably good. Let's run the same list back. Lure us to Companion Zone. Alright, we have removal. We have Daybreak. This is a great hand. Possibly the best hand we've seen tonight. He's keeping a what hand? You gotta be kidding me, man. That is not the hand you want to keep. What? No. Blighted Agent with no protection. None whatsoever. Attack for 2. Do we want to end-step path to exile here? It's bad against Force Negation, but they shouldn't have Force Negation because they don't have the blue count. Alright, well, we have fixed our opponent's mana. We have slowed them down as well, though. Spell's Guide. Wouldn't that be better to resolve before the Blighted Agent? Given, like, what you're versing as well? Redirect away. We still, like, could be bad against Enchantment Destruction. Opponent's trying. It doesn't really cost them anything. Your Spell's Guide needs to be enchanted for that to work, and it is not. So you got the Nature's Claim? Is that what's going on here? No. Cool. Play a guide, pass the turn. Play Daybreak next turn. Did he literally keep a 1 Infect creature hand and not run out the turn 2 Spell's Guide? That only makes sense if he drew Spell's Guide on turn 3. But I don't know why you'd keep a Dryad Arbor hand with the turn 2 Blighted Agent if you didn't have Spell's Guide. Odd. Our opponent also disconnected again. Glad to hear that, Tripixia. Well, I hope to get into it a bit more than what I have been. It looks like my opponent with the Noble Hierarch now on turn 4. It's not the greatest play. So we're going to be able to cast Daybreak Coronet and attack, obviously. I just don't care about blocking that. There's potential we get blown out by Enchantment Destruction, but at the same time, you know, we could get blown out, but when we go to cast this Daybreak, I sort of want to make my opponent have it. This is better against neither Enchantment Destruction effect, I guess. Alright, well, getting in for a lot. Actually, I guess, yeah, my opponent could have Nature's Claim. If they don't know about Daybreak Coronet falling off, it makes sense why they did what they did. I should have played the Bogle there as well. I don't think it's going to matter. I actually think we're going to steal this one from our worst matchup, in my opinion. Scale up on Dryad Arbor. Sure. Like, we're just gaining more life than that. I don't care about that scale up. Take it. I'll take it all day. Done. Alright, opponent concedes. I wonder if me not blocking tilted them more. Alright, so here we are for match number 4, everyone. We won the die roll. Hand looks good. On a 7, let's keep. And yeah, we'll just kick things off with Temple Garden into Scout. Hold on to this Windswept Heath in case we want basic land against Blood Moon, in case we want Dryad Arbor against the Liliana deck. Just play it super safe. White. I'm going to say Bant Stoneblade. I don't know of any other Aether Vial decks that run fetch lands. Either way. Oh, Dr. Queller is on top of the table. Okay. Well, our game 1 hand looks good. I'm not sure how good we're going to be game 2, though. Pygonti. He's not on top at the moment. Pygonti is on top. Dr. Queller is on 13 trophies currently. He still has obviously performed very well over the course of this Magic season. Or Magic Split, whatever we call it. I'm not really sure. Spirits, okay. Damn, this Griffspoon's a bit weaker now. Alright, let's go ahead. Let's attack here. Opponents can use Spell Queller to fog damage as well. And then we'll just put Lurrus to hand. I don't really like committing my auras to the board in this spot. I don't think it's going to get us that much more damage. Hopefully he's going to go aggressive and potentially like not have a flying creature to block with. Like, if his play is Skyclave Apparition here and then he Aether Vials in something without flying, no, he doesn't have any 2-drops without flying. Maybe he has no more 2-drops left in the deck. Maybe. Alright, so there's potential for Spell Queller here from my opponent at instant speed. Let's lead off on the Hyena Umbra and see what sort of response that one gets. It does not get any. Alright, well, Griffspoon. Let's go to attacks. I'm very surprised he didn't have the Spell Queller there. Is his play like block? He can't block and activate Maul and Haunt. Alright, Bogle down. Let's go, Mr. Bogle. Rattle Chains, the hexproof giver. Giving it to himself. Opponent knows our last card in hand is Lurus. Annoyingly, they're at a point where they can put... Oh, I guess if they hit blue mana, they're at a point where they can put chump blockers in the graveyard. Is it Exile 2 or is it Exile 1? It is Exile 1 creature from the grave. Get a 1/1 spirit token. That's really cool artwork. This is like the whole Cabin in the Woods thing before they decided to actually roll with it in... what's Throne of Eldraine? Trample? Trample? Can we draw Trample? I really like Trample. Trample? Trample? Hey, we found Trample. Let's hope for no interaction from my opponent on 3. Unlikely. Maybe they just have the Drogskull Captain, though, on 3 mana. Let's attack. Let's cross our fingers. Let's see what happens. Skyclave Apparition, unlucky guys. So we lose the damage in the air next turn. RIP. Fortunately, we didn't have Daybreak Coronet in this matchup. Daybreak Coronet's obviously very good. And we didn't have Vigilance either. We did hit the flying, which was good for us, but we missed out on Vigilance and we missed out on Lifelink this turn. This game. How is this a thought? You literally just take Rancor, chump block, and crack back and win. I guess he's got flying, so if he chump blocks with the Phantom, his creatures shrink. Ah. The game's not over yet. He is going for the line anyway, though. Not too surprisingly. Alright, so I guess this means he has to draw a Lord to get the W this turn. And we just got to block that Skyclave Apparition. That's not a Lord and is not going to tap us down. Okay. He's not attacking with Skyclave Apparition. We go to 1. Hello, baby. All right. Do you have it, opponent? Do you have it? I'm not going to show you any more cards than I have to. Either you have it or you don't. You got to be kidding me, right? How many fucking Skyclave Apparitions do these decks have every time, man? They can't just have one. They have to have multiple copies of the card. That is so hard to battle through. So unbelievably hard to battle through. My goodness. Alright, so Suppression Field has some merit here. Outside of that, I don't think Rest in Peace for Maul Haunt is good enough. I don't really think we want Force of Vigor in the blind. They could have Stoneforge Mystic package, but in the blind, I don't think we want to go for it. We can minus like a Core Spirit Dancer because she's fragile, but this will do for us. Path to Exile obviously can be good or it can be bad. It does give us a way to get an aura that's been countered by a Spell Queller back though. Alright, this hand is great. Let's keep. Let's keep and see how screwed we get by Skyclave Apparition. We just got to be aggressive though, people. This is actually like a really excellent hand. Turn 2, we have our attack for 5 into a turn 3 Daybreak Coronet, and we have path interaction. So if we hit like a white mana, we literally have perfect curve out in this hand. And if not, we're probably hitting auras. The auras are probably good. See, the opponent's going for the conserve the life total line. Well, no force of negation either, which is good. That is a card that spirits can have. Not yet. Not for these auras just yet. Okie dokie. Cast Daybreak. Force of negation, pitching spell queller. I knew it, people. I called it. We still have an aggressive hand with trample, so it's not all bad. We've still got the interaction on the path. Rattle chains. Opponent down to 2 cards in hand as well. Damn you, force of negation. Come on, man. Alright, we're getting attacked. Our opponent misses their land drop. That is huge for us. Lures to hand. Land in tapped. Pass the turn. Alright, another rattle chains. That's going to give them semi-decent attack here, but the more threatening thing is their life at the moment. We hit an aura as well. That would be really nice, because any aura is equal to at least 2 damage. Opponent misses land drop again. We'll put them to 1. That shuts off their fetch lands. We'll put Lurus to the board. I don't really want to put Glade Cover Scout to the board. Our creatures are going to be good enough. Like, they can only interact with 1 board piece, whether it's Rancor or Lurus, not both. And I want to conserve life, but hold up path. Alright, that's fine. Cool. Might just take out Core Spirit Dancers on the draw, bring in these Force of Vigors. Go for like a cheeky grab their Ether Vial and maybe shut down a lot of what their hand is going to do. I don't think they've got Stoneforge Mystic based off of what I've seen. I think it's just blue-white as well. We have a Dryad Arbor hand here, but our auras are really good. We're missing 1 white mana. We can't block our opponent's creatures. We can, however, interact with an Ether Vial, though. Honestly, I don't normally keep hands like this. It's close to a keep. I think the potential of Path to Exile just beating us, though, is pretty bad. Opponent has mulliganed. This is like a coin flip. This is really close to a keep, guys. Let's mulligan it. Okay, people. Okay. Let's go. This hand's really good too. We'll bottom a Rancor. Maybe we bottom Forest. I'm gonna bottom Forest to try and beat Skyclave Apparition, I think. Because if they rankle, get rid of one rankle with Skyclave Apparition, we might have trouble pushing damage through. Okay, well, we draw Temple Garden. We've been rewarded so far. Opponent with the Ether Vial hand, though, so I'm like a little bit hurting from not keeping that first hand that we had. Wow, missed their land drop. Let's go, guys. Let's go. All right, so we have to give First Strike. Now we'll give Trample. Now we'll attack. We've drawn more evasion as well. So I'm very happy to see that. And any one drop here. All right, looks like they've got a one drop. It's the Mausoleum Wanderer, not the one that draws cards for 4 mana. Vial on 2. Land drop, no white mana yet. Here comes Shacklegeist, and they're going to get an attack in. Alright, Supreme Phantom. I guess... Oh, Rattle Chains. No Supreme Phantom. Cool. I thought they might have that one. That's fine. No cards in hand for my opponent. What'd they exile? Rattle Chains. So we have the option to blow up this vial here for a rankle. I don't know if I like it. You're gonna go get some sleep, Tripixia. Alright, have a good sleep, and thanks for the luck. Yeah, let's get rid of it. That should make things very difficult for our opponent. We haven't quite got a 2-turn clock. Their clock is like a 3-turn clock as well currently. Wow. He sacks the Mausoleum Wanderer. I'm okay with that. That removes a lot of aggression here. All right. Do you have the 3-drop? Did you draw the 3-drop? Make you have it. Let's get this one out. Pass the turn. We're a 2-power aura off killing them. So we're drawing to Rancors, Ethereal Armors, and Daybreak Coronets right now. Drog Skull Captain. Wow, he did actually draw the 3-drop though. It was this turn though, not last turn. Huge draw. Does it win us the match? It has to. Unless they've got a counterspell. Pro creatures in for that juicy damage. 2 and 2. Let's go. Sorry, 3 and 1. I know what's going on. Alright, so here we are for the 5th and final match of this league. We're versing Plumnox, and we lost the die roll. That means we're going to be on the draw. And let's get into it. Also, a shout out to Wookie Wasabi for the follow on Twitch as well. Happened a few days ago when I was offline, but nonetheless, welcome to the Brigade, people. Alright, we're going to keep this hand. Daybreak Coronet against an Obosh deck. You got to be happy to see that one. Got to be happy to see Razorverge Thicket too. Alright, Bogle down, pass it. See what our opponent's turn is. Very likely they're just like setting up with like a light up the stage or something. Looks like it. That's the usual turn 2 here. Light up the stage finds Bolt and Seasoned Pyromancer. Oh, they've got the main deck Blast Zone. That hurts, man. That really hurts. I guess we can try and race it to an effect. We're not winning the game if we don't race it. Get in for a chunk. The main deck Blast Zone is a real big concern, man. We can draw Hyena Umbra or Spider Umbra. There are 7 draws there as well. Another light up the stage. So they're going to lose Lightning Bolt and Season Pyromancer there. Wow, we draw the Spider Umbra. That's huge, man. All right, let's go ahead and throw that one down on our creature. We'll add the double white as well. We'll Daybreak 2. Get in there, everything. Attack for 11. It's not lethal. It's getting close. It's put our life total up nice and healthy as well, though. Our opponent does have to hit land here, and they have to spend all their mana activating this. So it's going to disrupt their tempo a lot as well. In the meantime, we can just put Lurrus to hand. They can blow it up end step. And then if we draw land, we can Spirit Mantle, Daybreak, attack, and win. If we draw land, that comes into play on tap. If we draw that, though, we just win. We Spirit Mantle. If they sack the Blast Zone in response, we lose everything that's on board. Then we play the Daybreak from hand. We attack for 5 and win. Yeah, so we want to draw land here. Okay, we don't draw land. So, like, really attacking here is equal to not attacking. Let's attack, though. Because we drew this Bogle, so it's going to be right to attack in this spot. Opponent lost 3 light up the stages worth of cards. I'm going to just put that out there. He lost 6 cards. Oh, sorry, 5 cards here. Sure. Alright, Spirit Mantle pass. What you got, opponent? Actually, playing the Bogle was bad. I should have played Rancor plus Mantle. I don't think it matters. He knows about the Rancor. Okay, cool. So, like, if he had a second Blast Zone, played the Blast Zone and cracked it, I did the worst line there. Alright, mono red. We're going to want these suppression fields. We're going to want these Force of Vigors. Of course, Spirit Dance is looking pretty bad. There's some people that bring in Leyline of Sanctities. I'm not going to bring it in this match, I don't think. I don't really want to dilute my auras down, really. And yeah, like, good hands we're looking for are ones with Vigilance combined with Totem Armor. So Sentinel's Eyes plus Totem Armor. And if we can throw in, like, an aggressive card, like Rancor, Ethereal, and Daybreak on top of that, just one of those cards, that makes for, like, a pretty perfect hand. But yeah, Blood Moon is definitely a concern here, so we will fetch lands accordingly. Okay, good hand. We'll keep. It's got Totem Armor, and it's got some aggressive cards. And we can, you know, conserve life a decent amount as well. Alright, so no turn 1 creature for my opponent. That is good for us. Because that means Kozilek's Return at 3 mana can't kill our creature. Because of the Soul Scale Mage, right? Lightning Bolt. Light up the stage. Slow hand from my opponent. Wow, we've drawn double Temple Garden. Our draws have been bad. Our starting hand was good though, so of course we're still in a reasonable spot, and our opponent's turn has been slow. Utem Homage. Isn't Spirit Dancer not so bad because it can get out of range of burn so quickly? I guess, but when am I casting it? Like, it's just gonna die a lot, dude. It might be okay as a creature to reload back onto after a blast zone. But like if you're doing that, aren't you losing anyway? If they get to the point where they're popping blast zone, aren't you losing most games? If it's the only creature in your hand, I would say like 90 to 95% of the time it's going to die to a burn spell before you put an aura on it at all. Alright, well, we draw Horizon Canopy. Opponent's got the blast zone. Let's get in there, attack for a little bit. Next turn, I'm probably going to put Lurrus to hand. I will activate this Horizon Canopy, though. I might need to do it in response to a Blood Moon, depending on what my opponent does. I can't imagine they're going to Blood Moon and shut off their Blast Zone, though. The thing is, like, what cards are we taking out in that situation as well? Like, if we leave Spirit Dancer in, what are we taking out? All our auras are fantastic. We want our auras. Spirit Mantle, great draw. Path? Not horrible. So here we're going to get in for 2 damage, get our Rancors back to hand. Opponent can pop in response or not. It doesn't really matter how he sequences this. Yeah. Because Spirit Dance is like super fragile and like against Blood Moon as well, it can be pretty rough because they can remove a lot of your mana sources and you'll have like 1 white mana source, not be able to cast anything. So Blood Moon could be good against us here if he has it. Because then it will shut down our Rancors and we just got a 2 damage creature. Blast Zone again. Okay. We draw a 3rd Rancor. Shock that one in. A shock is worth the... Like, we're going to take 4 damage from the Bone Crusher Giant next turn, so we might as well take 4 damage and have it off the table. Opponent's 2nd Blast Zone. The first one's like beatable, the second one is always going to be difficult. Stomp us. Sure thing, opponent. Sure. We just have to go after Bone Crusher Giant here. There's no world where that isn't right. He's going to play a 2nd Bone Crusher Giant, or he's going to hold up mana to activate the Blast Zone here. So we're not going to take much damage off the Swift Spear anyway. Alright, there's another Blast Zone. Let's Rancor. Let's attack for 4. Actually, I think I'm supposed to play double Rancor and force the pop. Yeah, I think I played this wrong. He loses Swift Spear to this active as well, don't you forget. Fuck. I think I did this wrong. You can get Hyena Umbra back, but he can't active the Blast Zone and kill Lurrus. This is a hard spot. I was supposed to double Rancor. I think we have to put this on the Lurrus though. If we put it on the Slippery Bogle, they crack in response. If we put it on the Lurus, it forces them to have burn spell. If they don't have burn spell, we probably win. Okay, they have burn spell. Rip. So now it's the top of our library versus a Swift Spear. And yeah, that was played wrong because we didn't force the crack. Jesus. Whew. Savage stuff. On the play, maybe like suppression field's less good. I sort of brought it in for the blast zone, but maybe it's less good. What are we having in instead though? Like a spirit dancer? I think I value suppression field more than I value spirit dancer here anyway. Alright, that's freaking out. And I don't really think we want Leyline of Sanctities. I just want my auras. Like, we got lots of first strike, we got lots of vigilance, lifelink, we got a clock. We don't want to battle the burn spells. It's just silly. Especially when we're on the play. Maybe on the draw there's an argument for Leyline, but like not on the play. What do we got? Double Force of Vigor. It's good if he's got a Blood Moon hand. It's not that aggressive. We don't have Totem Armor. We don't have Lifelink. We do have double white. Our interaction is not Path to Exile, so we can't remove his creatures. I think this is a mulligan, guys. Cool. Down to limited resources now. Alright, we'll keep this one. This hand is great. Get rid of Path, get rid of Hyena Umbra, and see what other cards we draw. It's a really good 5. What do we draw? Not a bad aura. This is really good. This means our Daybreak Coronets will hold each other on through a Blast Zone. And we're going to be able to get that down before our opponent is going to be able to activate Blast Zone. So that's a really big positive turn. So now the threat is turn 3 Blood Moon. We do get 1 Daybreak down for that though. So I think we're good if we do that. Yeah. I think we're good. Opponent misses out on some damage because they were looking to do some sort of combat trick there as well. Is a 5/5 lifelinker too much? I would assume their play is Stomp. And that they don't have Light Up the stage in hand, and that would be the only thing that made sense for why they did what they did. I think, honestly, they just missed 2 points of damage. Blocking, sure. Not blocking, killing own creature in response or something, okay. Seasoned Pyromancer is not Blood Moon. Let's go. It does dig them decently through their deck. Lava Dart and Firebolt discarded. Firebolt with the flashback. Just empty hand. Empty hand seems pretty good here. What a draw. Mull to 5 and draw pretty much perfectly. Maybe we could have like a Rancor or a Griff Spoon in that spot, but like that is a near perfect draw there. We haven't won yet though. Blast Zone or like 2 Blast Zones can be an issue. So we're going to prioritize getting this Lurus into hand so that we can buy back our Hyena Umbra hopefully 2 turns time. Every time, man. Every time. I swear they have like 3 copies of Blast Zone every game, and we get like Daybreak Coronet every second game. I swear it's that skewed. Not bad. We'll save that for next turn though. We're just gonna go for attacks here. Daybreak Coronets will hold each other on. I guess we'll see if they pop it on one or if they look to up it to 2 here. They might actually just go after Daybreak. We are on 47 life. We've got good life now. Lure us to hand. I don't know if they win that battle of taking it slower. Especially not with Rancor in hand. This is actually a pretty close game. Like, there's still a decent amount our opponent can do to get back into it. We've just got ourselves in a reasonable spot. And yeah, our life is really, really high, so we don't need to rush things at all. Putting the charge counter down. Interesting. No burn spell either. Rancor seems great for next turn now. Let's go, Mr. Rancor. How are you winning? Active Blast Zone. So they have potential to play a land this turn. They have potential to like lightning bolt their seasoned pyromancer when they chump block. That's not that good though. Okay. I guess I should leave that Windswept Heath in hand until post combat. Attack for a bunch. Alright, Daybreak is down. That is fine. We might be able to get one back with Lurrus. We're getting close to killing our opponent. I'm not going to play Lurrus into removal here. We're going to keep it on hand. And I don't think I want to crack Fetch Land. If we crack Fetch Land, we don't have the option to fetch around Blood Moon. And having a higher land count here helps us. So yeah, slow rolling the Rancor definitely helped in our opponent making the decision to tick Blast Zone up. And I think that them ticking Blast Zone up has hurt them more than it has helped them. Because now a second Blast Zone is less impactful. Blood Moon? Sure. Land? So just attack and don't stress, I think so. We are winning this race. Okay. It's interesting because, like, normally the player will block with the Seasoned Pyromancer because they can get the tokens back with the active for 5 mana, but he's opted for Rampaging Ferocidon. Is the 7 life more relevant than the 6 for some reason? Okay. Sure. Alright, so we hit land, we just lure us into Daybreak, and then we should have the win. All right, so opponent knows we have Lurrus. He knows we're getting Daybreak back. He knows the line he concedes. Awesome. So big 4-1 there. Good result. And yeah, deck list performs pretty well. I think I probably want more paths than 2. And there's the 4-1. Yeah, glad to return a good result for you tonight, Pay. After that first league, you know, glad to be here, right? But yeah, I really think having Sentinel's Eyes has been very good for the deck. Very, very good for the deck. I like having lots of auras like this. Like, you're just a really efficient Bogle deck if you have lots of auras like this. The more removal or ley lines of sanctities or like random spells that you have in your deck that are not auras, like the worse your top decks are on average, right? However, Path to Exile is very important. Death Shadow is a deck. It is a scary deck. And it's also very good against Prowess decks, as we sort of saw there. It got a Bone Crusher Giant game too, right? Yeah, it's not great value, but hey, still, we will take it. Sideboard wise, we didn't run into any Tron, but like Gadok Teague obviously is very important for the Tron matchup. Maybe we could like trim on 1 Teague, because I sometimes feel like 3 is too many. But you should definitely have some number in your sideboard unless there's no Tron in your metagame. Suppression Field is still my most questionable sideboard slot here. Let's just change the view. Let's go card view here. Make it a bit easier. Yeah, Suppression Field, most questionable sideboard slot. It does have play against Heliod Company. It's good against Hate Bears. It means like the Giver of Runes aren't just crazy good against you. Running 1 of in the sideboard is not the best though. Maybe we want to just focus our attention somewhere else though. To side, obviously dedicated Heliod Hate. Rest in peace, Graveyard Hate for things like Dredge, Jund, Control. Lurrus, great to get these auras back. And yeah, Leyline, good against burn and discard decks. Can I just say, having the combination of Lurrus, Rancor, and Sentinel's Eyes makes for like really good, like, you can reload a lot of tempo onto the board really quickly post a Wrath effect, like an Explosives, a Blast Zone. Like, having lots of effects like Sentinel's Eyes, Rancor, Lurrus, like this all helps. Lurrus is like good on his own, but having these extra effects like the Sentinel's Eyes, it just adds that tempo. And you'd be surprised how much value it adds playing like 2 or 3 auras after a sweep as opposed to just like 1 to 2. But yeah, that was great. I think the list did really well. I still think I like Spirit Mantle. It can be good to like block with against the Prowess decks, but it's also a bit sketchy. If they have something like Stomp there, we saw Bone Crusher Giant and Stomp, it stops damage from being prevented, so it will actually stop the protection from creatures, like preventing damage to your creature, and you can lose your creature on a chump block, so something to keep in mind. Well,